Hey, everybody.
Take 2 of this already.
Yeah, we got interrupted. Yeah, so it's weird to be the only one on this side of the camera, but I want to go through my physical TBR the same way that Lauren did.
Hopefully you like horror.
It's a lot of horror. It's a lot of books in general, and it's organized kind of strangely. So it's mostly based on where I would expect to find them when I go looking for them. So kind of by like what app I'll use to listen to them usually if I'm doing audio. But the first 2 shelves of this cart over here are the ones that I can't get on audio or I haven't yet. Some of them I could get through Audible, but I haven't paid for. So I'm just going to dive in because there's a lot. So
you got a lot.
The first one I wanted to show is, I think, probably one of the next ones on my TBR, which is, it's like an intimidating book to start. This is Josh Malerman's Ghoul in the Cape, which is like a big sweeping epic of like weird characters and weird stuff. And probably the most expensive book that I own because it's a signed limited edition from Earthling Publications.
And what did we pay for that?
Yeah, I'm still not going to tell you. But it's huge. It's like 700 pages, very big. I just, and since I'll have to read the whole thing physical, I want to wait until a time where I can actually like get through it without having to take huge breaks.
We know you love him.
Slimer by Harry Adam Knight. I think I bought this on the book crawl. I read
Snapdragon books.
The Fungus and really enjoyed it. This is one of those Valancourt re-releases, so it was kind of out of print for a while. The Narrows by Ronald Malfi, which is like a small town horror about a storm comes, and when it leaves something behind. This is a kind of an obscure Richard Matheson book that I'd never heard of.
Hell House author, right?
Yeah. It's called Now You See It. It's about magicians. And he also wrote some of our favorite Twilight Zone episodes. You always seem to forget. Picked this up at half price in the clearance. It's called The West End Horror.
Look at that author
The author is Nicholas Meyer. And I think it's written... it's called The Posthumous Memoir of John H. Watson. So like Holmes... Sherlock Holmes' sidekick wrote this memoir, and then it was released after his death as sort of the premise. Yeah. Clive Barker's The Hellbound Heart. I have no idea if I'm holding these up in frame or not, by the way.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Which, of course,
I think I'm new at this.
Hellraiser is based on. Strange Houses, which is, I had no idea, but I picked it up in a store and thought it looked cool. Seems like liminal horror mixed with like building diagrams and stuff. So really interested to see how that turns out. Arthur C. Clarke. I actually have 3 books in this series on my physical TBR. I read the first, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Next up is 2010, which for some reason I cannot find an audio of anywhere. And that's why the other 2 aren't with it. This is Shadow of Evil by William Deal, which is the sequel to Primal Fear, the movie's based on Primal Fear with Richard Gere and Edward Norton.
Heck of a twist.
So this is the same characters in a sequel. American Cannibal, which is an anthology of people eating people stories, edited by Rebecca Rowland. I believe it was nominated for a Stoker. This is a little bit out of place, but this is Dan Simmons' Children of the Night, which is a sequel to Summer of Night, which I don't have the audio for this, but I do have the audio for that, so it's over there. And then I've got a bunch of like random anthologies that I've found in stores that I think look really cool. So Chamber of Horrors. I tend to pick these up in stores and I get really excited about them, and then when I read them, they're all very hit or miss. Yeah. This actually won a Stoker Award for Best Anthology. It's called Discontinue If Death Ensues. And it's...
Look at the edges.
Yeah, isn't that cool? That was another half-price clearance find. Alfred Hitchcock's Supernatural Tales of Terror and Suspense. He's always got such cool covers for these anthologies.
Yeah, look at that.
And speaking of, Happiness is a Warm Corpse. Little mass market paperback that was like $1 somewhere. So then the next shelf down, we've got Ghosts and Horror Stories of Ambrose Bierce, who's one of my favorite like classic horror authors. Another Ambrose Bierce collection that I've not read. Look at these covers. They're so cool.
I know, that's creepy.
This one is called Journey into Fear, and it's all ghost and horror stories about trains and railways, which I thought was kind of a cool premise.
Yeah.
So then I've got like a bunch of mass market paperbacks all together. So this is The Center by David Chauvin with the ridiculous 90s step back art.
Mm-hmm.
Is basically, it sounds a lot like Coma by Robin Cook, where it's like machines doing surgery on people.
Mm-hmm.
The novelization of the movie Alien by Alan Dean Foster. Ball by Robert McCammon, which, I mean, when you find that for that kind of price, you kind of have to get it, I think.
Oh, really?
Another Robert McCammon called The Night Boat. I don't really know exactly what these are about, but I love everything of his. This one I think you gave me, which is a Brian Keene novel called Ghost Walk that's got a recurring character of his named Levi something.
I didn't care for that.
You kind of started it and DNF'd it, and I always read Brian Keene when I can, so I showed this one at the book crawl, Amityville Horror 2.
Mm-hmm. That's
cool.
That.
Look how cool. And then the second book in Graham Masterton's Manitou series, Revenge of Manitou. After all right, so they're already starting to fall over. So then I feel like these are all kind of like indie books, friends and folks that have we've met. David Washburn,
best of the one of the
Where
best
Pop
of the
Stars
years.
Go to Die. Bought that from him on the book crawl. I have these in two different places, but Mall Priest, I have the second and third by Chris Heineke and Kate Reedwood. They sent me all three of them. So I bought the audio for book 2. I read book 1 physically. I haven't bought this one yet, audio, so that's why it's still up here. Screams from the Dark Ages by Broken Brain Books, which is run by our good buddy L.M. Kaplan.
Author of Mine. The book is called Mine, and it was amazing.
It was amazing. William F. Gray's collection, Other Atrocities. He's a good buddy of ours, too. Christopher Bavard's collection called The Mystery of Lullabies. Some of these I've had forever and just can't get around to. Brian Asman's stories called Neo Arcana. I've read a couple of his and enjoyed them, so I picked that one up cheap. This was another one put together by some of our friends, edited by Jill Glenn and Savannah Fisher. So it's called Phobophobia. I think you might have read. Did you read any of these?
Is Mari in that one?
Yeah, Mari's got a story in there. So she's probably the one that sent that to us then.
Yes.
The souvenir anthology from StokerCon last year. And then these are just like random local haunted house kind of books. This is when all the ghosts at Bobby Mackey's, and then Haunted Kentucky.
Bobby Mackey's is a honky-tonk bar.
Yes.
That is
local legend kind of place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Known to be on ghost adventures. Yeah.
So then I feel like I need to speed up because I'm not even halfway through.
Yeah.
On Audible, I've got all of these ready for audiobooks. So The Ceremonies by T.E.D. Klein. There's the first in the Children of Night, The Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. Kill Creek, which you talked me into forever ago.
Loved it.
The second book in Jason Pargin's John Dies at the End, which is called This Book is Full of Spiders. He always has the coolest titles. Burnt Offerings, which you talked me into.
Loved it. You bought me that in a gift exchange.
Yep. Book Mail by our buddy Jason Davis. Orca by Arthur Herzog.
Interesting.
Which I bought down in Chattanooga, I think. Ramsey Campbell's The Wise Friend. Our good friend Andrew Van Way's Forsaken, which is about a cursed art print, I believe.
Yeah,
I've had that for way too long.
Loved it.
So then I've got Mall Priest 2. This one, Stoker for Best First Novel. It's called Haven by Tom Deedy. Small town kids on bike stuff. I think I stole this from you too and just threw it on here. Nonfiction, self-motivation.
Just so you could get one book that isn't horror.
Well, yeah. So I do intend to read it at some point. I think I talked about it for Nonfiction November.
Yeah.
This is Joseph Campbell's The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And it is another, I would call nonfiction. This is basically how to write good characters. And I intend to read that hopefully in January. I've been wanting to read this forever. John Krakauer's Under the Banner of Heaven.
Our buddy, Lisa Brienne gave us that.
Yes. Bret Easton Ellis's The Shards. The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim, which won a Stoker
That one's getting a lot of buzz.
Not horror. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which
I want to read that.
I've not read it since I was probably in school. Sleep Tight by J.H. Markert, another friend of ours. Overgrowth by Myra Grant, which I think I bought at Book Matters.
Didn't you read Into the Drowning Deep and didn't care for it?
I did not care for that one, but this one sounds like aliens and weird plant stuff. This is going to be a reread. So this is Josh Mallerman's novella, A House at the Bottom of a Lake. I've read it before, but I'm going to read it again. You told me about this one too, so I'm going to read this as research. Alan Eskin's The Life We Bury. And then I've got Eric LaRocca's novel, At Dark I Become Loathsome. I've not read enough of him, so I'm excited about that one. I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid, which sounds like an absolute mind job, and I can't wait. You finally talked me into this one, I think. Kelly Armstrong, Hemlock Island.
I talked you into it by saying I didn't like the ending.
That's effective.
Yeah.
Arthur C. Clarke, Odyssey 3, 2061. I think you're reading this right now, aren't you?
I'm currently reading that.
Yeah, Carter Wilson, The New Neighbor. You talked me into that when we met him up in Columbus. Then I've got Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House.
Read to zero for you.
I think so. We'll see. We Hear Voices, Evie Green. I don't know about Southern Book Club. You talked me into this one.
I talked you into We Hear Voices, too.
Yep. Kill Show by Daniel Swearenbecker. When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. I'd not heard of this before, but I bought it because I wanted to have all these funky little olive editions. I thought they were cool. The Neverending Story, which I've actually never read, but I've never adored the movie since I was a kid. The Bell Chime by Mona Kabani, which I've had for too long.
That's your editor's obsession with that book.
This is a home invasion novel called Anybody Home by Michael J. Seidlinger. I don't know. It was published by Clash, so it might be.
I think that's extreme horror.
Yeah. I believe they're working on making a movie. This is down here for research and reread purposes. So this is a collection of Franz Kafka stories. There's a particular one I want to read, and I'll talk about that some other day. Another Malfi reread of Black Mouth because of the magician vibes in it. I want to kind of get that down for my new one.
I love this one. Loved it.
Jen talked me into this one.
Yeah.
Jen Bookish Blonde. These Silent Woods by, I can't read, Kimmy Cunningham Grant. There's a sticker, so I can't see. Another reread of Thomas Old Huvelt's Hex.
I got you that.
Because you did, and I've loved it ever since. But I have the sequel.
And it's witchy.
Yeah, I have. So it's not, I guess not a sequel, but he's using that character again in Oracle, so I need to reread it. T. Kingfisher, The Twisted Ones.
I need to read something by that author.
Not horror. Ernest Hemingway, Farewell to Arms. Angel Down by Daniel Krauss.
Oh, that's the one that's all one sentence.
The whole book is one sentence, which fascinates me.
I don't know about that.
Grady Hendrix again. I'm not really into Final Girl stuff, but for the right price, I will give him a chance. We were talking about this one this morning. Brandon McNulty, who we met recently, has a YouTube channel. Fellow YouTuber. This is called Bad Parts. And so this sounds really cool. So it's about basically selling your soul, I think, to be able to fix injured body parts.
Interesting.
Which sounds really cool. All of his books sound cool.
We need to read him.
Yeah. I forgot I had this. You were looking for Wilkie Collins stuff the other day. This is a collection of Wilkie Collins ghost stories. The Haunted Hotel and Other Stories. So I have the Haunted Hotel. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I have so many books.
You don't even know what you got.
Yeah. Algernon Blackwood collection. Darcy Coates short story collection, which is your fault too, because you had me read one of her short stories and I loved it. The Haunted Forest Tour by James Moore and Jeff Strand.
Love Jeff Strand.
Sounds like really cool cryptid stuff.
Yeah.
Another Malfi, They Lurk. Can't wait to read that because Joe Hempel did the narration. Arthur Machen's The Great God Pan and Other Horror Stories. This is one of the first examples of cosmic horror. Our friend James Kane, My Pet Werewolf, which he wrote before the Dead Children's Playground, which is kind of his big one.
Yeah, which was a really good book.
But this came first, and now I think he's got a sequel. Our good friend Andrew Nyberg's The Mobius Door, which I've had for way too long and need to read. Here's the second in Haley Piper's Worm novella series. This one's called Even the Worm Will Turn. First one I think is called The Worm and His King. Something like that. Another Malfi, Bone White. Jeff Long, The Descent. Lee talked me into that one. It's one of her favorite books of all time.
Who wrote Cursed, who's amazing.
I don't remember what this is about, but it sounds like a good winter read. Cold Snap by Lindy Ryan. More Malfi, Snow.
Man, I thought you read more Malfi than you have.
I think I've read about half of them. William Hope Hodgson's classic, The House on the Borderland. This is Charles Dickens, Edwin Drood and the Old Curiosity Shop. A bunch of Robert Louis Stevenson, Dr. Jekyll, and some other stories. Philip Fracassi collection called Behold the Void, which has a altar, which they're making into a movie. Animal Farm.
Classic.
You talked me into this one, The Stranger Upstairs by Lisa Matlin.
It's a creative haunted house.
The only Nat Cassidy I've not read yet, which is his first, Mary. More Hemingway, The Sun Also Rises. Washington Irving, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Other Tales. Hide by Kirsten White, which is another one, I think, kind of like Devils Kill Devils, where it gets a lot of bad reviews. But yeah. I loved her
Mr. Magic.
Yeah, I loved Mr. Magic. This is my copy we were talking about the other day, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar
It's a cool
Wilde.
Copy.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's got illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're getting there. The Creeper by A.M. Shine.
Oh, that's anher. I love that.
When I found this used in a hardcover, I had to buy it because I feel like you don't see the
hardcover's hard to find. Irish author, and I liked that one better than The Watchers.
The Watchers was not really my jam.
Mm-hmm.
This is Clay Chapman's satanic panic novel called Whisper Down the Lane, which
love Clay.
is, I think, the only one of his novels I haven't read. Arthur C. Clarke again, 3001. This one I picked up just at the Friends recently. This is Brian McCauley's Curse of the Reaper. He's got a book out right now that is getting a lot of buzz called Breathe In, Bleed Out, which is like a slasher.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds a little bit more my jam than that. It's like meta horror kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is called Eruption, and it says it was written by Michael Crichton and James Patterson.
Oh, that's a
which I believe neither of them. Michael Crichton is not alive.
Yeah,
James Patterson, everyone knows, basically ghost writes everything.
Yeah,
I believe I've heard. I haven't really seen proof, but I'm pretty sure that this was actually written by Blake Crouch, which is why I bought it. Giant collection of Sherlock Holmes stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. There's like 6 novels in here. It's gonna take me forever to get through that. And then this is the one, kind of the sequel to Hex, the same character. It's called Oracle. And then lastly, Stephen King gets his own section in my physical TBR. So I've got new reads and rereads that I'm planning. So Later, which is more like crime fiction, but I've heard is supernatural. 11/22/63, which I probably should have read forever ago.
Yeah, I've told a ton of people you're reading that one soon, so you better read that one soon.
You Like It Darker is his newest short story collection, which includes a short story that's a sequel to Cujo, which is really interesting to me. Lacey's story, which I always kind of stayed away from, but I've since heard is actually really good grief horror. Gerald's Game, never read, but I liked the movie, so I picked it up. The Outsider, which I believe is a Holly Gibney, but still sounds like it might be more up my alley than her other books. And then I want to reread The Gunslinger because I found this cool hardcover copy. So The First Dark Tower. I've been buying all these retro covers when they come out. So I've got Night Shift and Cujo. This really cool looking 25th anniversary edition of On Writing.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Salem's Lot, which I've only read one time and feel like I need to give it another shot. And then the actual like serialized novella version of The Green Mile, like the 6 different parts in separate books.
That's it?
That's it. You want more? I've got chapbooks and stuff over there too, but maybe we'll save those for another day.
Yeah, we can.
How many books is that? Is that 100 books? I feel like I have 100 books to read.
There it is, y'all. There's the mess.
It's a mess.
Ben has some work to do.
And then I've got like chapbooks and kids books that I always thought were cool and wanted to read. So
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I've been talking forever, and I feel like I'm talking really fast. So
all right,
we'll
cut it here.
Yeah.
All right, bye, Booze.
Bye.